Hello, welcome back to our channel. We're going to be talking about a very anticipated game, Outriders. Definitely got a lot to get into about this game. Uh,
Some good and some bad.
some good, some bad, definitely. You had, definitely had bugs in the first day. Um, they had a slow first days, but they really got themselves through it.
Oh, slow, you mean figuratively slow or busy? Because it was really busy for their support teams,
Oh
all
yeah, oh yeah,
for at least a few weeks.
for a few weeks, definitely. They had
They were really,
been
really busy.
they had many bugs, and even to this day, they're still trying to finish fixing off one of their bugs. Still, uh, one of their major bugs that they had was a inventory wipe bug, which I am thankful that neither me nor my homie over here experienced, but we've definitely definitely seen people experience it. uh, People losing the entire inventory, and
They're
armors,
making
guns.
up for it though, which
Yeah,
is
oh
great.
yeah, they definitely trying to make they definitely working through it. Made some progress and giving back people their stuff back, which is great to see. Um,
Yeah, but they're not just giving everyone their stuff back, just giving their stuff back. They're making up for their all the stuff that they've lost tenfold by giving back what they had at better roles.
yeah, he definitely did that. Kind of at the moment makes me wish that it happened to me too, just to get the god rolls that you're giving out. But neither here nor there. Um, let's just continue off with the bad, okay? Uh, The graphics were good for majority of the game. Um, there were some times where the graphics would kind of mess up here and there, and same with audio as well. Um, but we're not going to say anything about how the ending finishes, but uh, you really did not fine tune their graphics for the end of their game at all.
That wasn't graphics, dude. The synchronization
The
was off.
synchronization was so bad. Every
It was
audio was
terrible.
off. There was no sync with audio. The video was everywhere. It was just a mess. I have no idea who was in charge of the end product to see if everything was okay, but that dude needs to be fired.
Well, not fired. He needs to be reprimanded.
Jesus Christ, man, that was just plain awful. Games I have played throughout my gaming life that I've played, and I've gamed since I was young, younger than 5. I have never experienced such a just bad synchronization in my whole life of a game, in the end of a game like that. It ruined the whole ending of the game. It ruins the whole thing for you. Just the way that you do not fine tune it. It just ruins it because everything gets thrown off. Everything is just mumbled, jumbled. Everything is just horrible. Um, then there was a lot of issue with people having with they didn't like, basically, to say, was the safe flag locations. You have to basically put a flag down to save that location so you can move throughout the area without having to just start with one area and just run around from one area. So you wanted to go quicker around the one area you're at. You had to plant your flag and then fast travel through here and there. really didn't make any sense of why they why they added this feature. Um, no one really cared for it. Really, they're just kind of like, okay, I guess I got to do that one, whatever, just to get through this. Let's do it. But no one really cared for it. Um, Now that we got most of the bad stuff out of the way, I guess we can get into the good of this game. Uh, what you think of the story, Stars?
I thought it was average, to be honest. Like sometimes the one thing that I could say is for criticism purposes that sometimes it felt like they didn't know where they were going with it.
I definitely agree on that. Definitely 100% agree on that.
Like somebody that like the writer was probably like in his first year of ever writing anything in his life, and it felt like sometimes they were just like they kind of didn't know where it was where they wanted it to go, and then there was times where it felt like, oh, that's cool, and then there was times where it felt like, who wrote this? Have they ever done any form of game writing before?
I definitely agree. It felt like this whoever was the writer of the story for this game was like a newbie. It definitely felt the story had at times it felt like the story had like a lane that it was going, and all of a sudden it felt like the story lost its way, and then all of a sudden you it somehow get back to the story, but it didn't really have a clear, straight down road of a story without jumping around a lot, and it just didn't seem well written to me. I think it could have been a lot better written for a story. Let's get into some gameplay for this game. Definitely have variety of choices you can be in this game to go through the story with. It could be uh
You can be a technomancer, pyromancer,
yes,
trickster, and devastator. All classes feel unique and special in their own way. They're all fun to use. Um,
definitely recommend to try them all to see which one actually works for you the best, which one is the character you actually want to stick with. Um, just because you don't want to just go with one, and maybe you're better with a different class, or you're better with this class than this class. You want to try to give them all their fair shake, because they're all different, and one
Kind
Devis,
of in the same way Destiny is when you
yeah,
have the Warlock, Titan, and Hunter. They all feel different, but they all feel unique in their own way. Just try one of each and see what you like, and main that one that you really vibe with.
yep, it's true. Yeah, like the Devastator, he's a basically close up guy. Um, Distance will not benefit him too well. You can do some distance with him, but it's preferable to try and keep yourself close quarters as possible. Um, so that's where he's most that's where he's most beneficial and stronger to use. Technomancer, that's a basically distance choice right there. Keep yourself at
Use your
distance.
aid and support from distance. Typically, like if you're going to play in a group, your technomancer, you kind of want him to kind of stay back. He's the I'm gonna fire my sniper and set off my mortars.
Exactly.
Your devastator and your tricksters typically are your setups, your close quarters, clear.
Trickster and Devastator definitely can work off each other very well. If you have a trickster and devastator together, they can definitely work off each other very well because a trickster.
Well,
Uh,
just like the pyromancer would do really good with the technomancer, they both play off of each other very well because you got one clearing out the close quarters and setting them on fire, and then you have the distance with the range and the mortars and everything. That'll help clear ads really quickly.
even though the pyromancer can actually do mid range, so he actually can play a little farther back than trickster and devastator. He can be kind of like the dude to kind of keep the technomancer kind of clear. So you got the devastator, and you got the trickster kind of in the close range, and then you got the pyromancer kind of clearing out the mid area to keep out. And you got the technomancer in the back, just shooting from distance and giving aid. So you can basically work all four into a way of working as a good team if you have all four of them on a team.
Well, you can only technically because it's a three co-op, so you can only have three of the four, which doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
Some parts of this game never really clicked. Like, okay, you have four class types, but you only have three availabilities for co-op.
that was another thing was co-op and crossplay were also causing a problem when the game first came out.
They had a bunch of issues, dude. That just and like things that never made sense. You have four classes, but three co-op slots.
Yeah, he
Yourself and
definitely didn't think
other
it
people.
through. He definitely didn't fine tune how to exactly he wanted to work this game. Apparently, he kind of just like, eh.
They're like, it is what it is, and
um,
that kind of sucks for developers to do this. Not that we're kind of crapping on the parade. The game is great. It is a fun game when it runs well. When
exactly.
you have these server issues, you have bugs. This game is not fun. It will piss you off when you lose your stuff, or you'll get mad at the world that you lost hours and hours of progress, or the game crashes and you're in the middle of a boss battle, and then you have to, or it crashes just right after the boss battle, and you got to do the boss battle all over again. That will literally make you angry.
And
But
you
outside of
got the people online that are you know not telling these developers that they need to fix this and work on
Well, that's
this.
just people shilling out because Square Enix is on the name, and people think Square Enix cannot do anything wrong. Square Enix is a great developer, they put out great products, but this wasn't made by Square Enix. This was made by People Can Fly. They did mess up. People were shilling for them when and saying that there was great customer service and people were getting information that no other company was doing. They all say the same damn thing because they want people to stay calm while they're trying to fix the problem.
And you got people saying
All these developers are doing the same thing. They'll tell you the same exact thing, but people are like, "Oh yeah, this is communication." That's not communication. Clear communication from the developers would be like, "Our server crashed. We're rebooting it. It'll be up in an hour."
which they end up saying way late anyway. But he could.
Or we made some changes, but we had to restart the server. They didn't tell any of that. People were like, they went out and said, "Oh, we're working on an issue right now." Working on an issue. Your brain has an issue. What's the problem?
And you had the other people who were like, I played this game for 32 hours straight. Good for you.
No problem.
Good for you, man. I mean, that's great that you're able to play it, but not everyone was that lucky. The majority of the people that were having issues just barely playing an hour straight of the game. I mean, we get it that you're able to play the game, but you don't need to brag about it and make other people feel bad. It's not necessary at all. People want to play the game. You want to enjoy the game. and if you can't play an hour straight, which happened the first day this game came out, was you could barely play for an hour straight. Remember right, we barely got 2.5 hours of actual gameplay in on the first day this game came out. That's from all everything that was going on with their stuff. And you really should have made single player offline.
Oh, 100,000%.
They should have made it offline. There was no, that would have definitely depleted their issue tenfold.
This game should not have been online only.
Their launch day would have been so much better if they just went with single player offline. Because everyone would have gotten to the story, gone through the story, and completed at least a character maybe on the first day. And then the next day they would try going online and then probably found some issues with that, and then people just play offline while they're waiting for the online issues to get fixed. That could have been an idea they could have done. But let's get back into characters. Each character has their own unique unlockable moves once you level them up. Um, so each character is going to be unique in that way. Each one's going to have different abilities to be able to use, and you have 3 slots to choose which ability you want to put in. It's not just like one ability and that's it. You have 3 choices of which abilities you want to use, and each ability is different. They're not just all attack abilities. Some of them are aid abilities. Some of them are protection abilities, and some of them are counter abilities. Which Devastator and I think the Trickster has counter abilities.
No, it's more of a all of his abilities are kind of more or less kind of like if you think of someone who likes to play pranks, tricks on people.
Ah,
He he'll activate it and then he'll teleport behind you, or he'll activate something that'll like a bubble that you'll walk through and it'll slow them down. Um, he has like a sword too that'll uh, slow them down and turn them into skeletons and they'll explode. Um, the all of his are pretty much like set up attacks or high DPS stuff like that. Like it's he's definitely a he's kind of you got to have like a technique with him, like where it's strategically done. Because if you don't, you'll die. He's a lot more.
strategic.
Yeah, you just got to be smart with your moves. Otherwise, you're gonna die a lot with the trickster. You're gonna die a lot.
And Devastator is more of a clear out the room kind of moves, and he does have defensive moves and counter moves. Um, but most of those things are to clear out, basically clear out ads. So yes, slams the ground. You basically clear an area, a little area of ads there. Then he has another one where he has spikes coming out and can impale up to like 3 people. And so the Devastator more of a clear out, um, clear the way kind of character. That's what you want to use. They see the guy just basically the one if you want to just like I want to just dismantle you and destroy everything. Boom, slam, smash. Um, but each one has their unlockable moves. So once you unlock all their abilities, And you can choose which ones you actually want to actually use. Like you want to use a defensive move, offensive move, counter move, depending on which character. There's a variety of weapons in this game, and rarities as well, and armor. Um, the max armor is legendary. If you're a Destiny player, legendary is a purple, but in this game, legendary is actually the highest. It's like the exotic for Destiny.
Well, Destiny's the only one with their own color scheming and names, dude. Because in most games, purples are epics, and golds are always legendary.
Uh, what's it called?
Even
Destruction All
even
Stars actually calls blues epics.
what's that?
Destruction All Stars actually calls blues epics, and they call purples legendaries, and they got the other ones called heroics, something like that. But their blues are called epics.
Well, we're referring to shooters, dude.
No, I know. I just throwing that information out.
But most games that are on the shooter level, Destiny's like the only one with the like epic is purple, gold is exotic. When in most shooters, it's epic is purple, gold is legendary.
Yeah, legend. Yeah, Destiny. Legendary is the purple. It's just weird how it's just how they do theirs in their own way. But yeah, and you collect elements and stuff throughout the game, and you can level up your armor, level up a certain weapon you want or certain armor you want to level up. You can literally level them up from common to rare to epic to epic is the highest you can actually take it to. You can't make anything legendary. I don't know if they're gonna change that in an update. Maybe be able to make certain things legendary or not. I don't know what exactly their game plan is with that. But at the moment, the highest you can upgrade anything is to epic. So you have
But
certain
that's just for rarity purposes, dude.
that's rarity
That
purposes.
that has nothing to do with like the actual level of the gun. The level of the gun far
The
exceeds the
level of the
level.
gun, the level of the gun keeps going up. Rare for rarity. This is for rarity only. It goes up to epic.
Most people get confused with with if I could have a legendary, which is going to be stronger than my epic. Why would I have a legend? Why would I want an? Why would I want to upgrade it to an epic when I can just go get a legendary? Because levels matter more than epic. The rarity itself, because you're going to find yourself running that same legendary for a while, but then you have like five epics that are stronger than that legendary you're running.
It's true. It's definitely true.
So it's this game is not like, for instance, Destiny, where like you can just infuse and your gun is stronger, or
You
your
can definitely upgrade your strength though as well. You can definitely level up a weapon. But there's a limit to that, which is to how high your the level you can be, and that is also depending on the worlds you've unlocked. How high in the world you're unlocked. The higher the world you unlock, the higher you can level up your weapons and your armor. Um, so and to letting you guys know there's a limit. So if you guys are just world 6 or something, there's going to be a certain limit of how high you can raise your armor and your weapons too. And each level and each weapon level up different on strength. So sometimes if you level one up to the same level as let's say level up a legendary and epic, sometimes the epic could be higher in that same level than a legendary at that same level, vice versa. You got a lot of missions, and you have side missions as well. a good amount of side missions at that, because you have collectibles and other stuff on the side missions to collect.
Doing those side missions for the first time are definitely beneficial for those who want their first legendary. Yeah, legendaries. Um, Definitely doing those make a lot of sense because like each one will give you a specific piece or a different type of thing. One will give you an armor piece, one will give you a gun, one will give you, I think, another armor piece. So you'll end up with like two armor pieces and a gun, which totally makes sense if you're trying to chase legendaries, which that's pretty much what the whole end game is all about, is chasing them to get higher level weapons that make you stronger and getting uh, weapons that are crazy damage high, like ones that are doing like 500,000 damage.
And depending on the rarity of your weapons, it depends on how many perks you can also put on your weapons and armor. So if you have it at
Not true, because epic and legendaries both have two. The only difference is
it's
for
rare.
the
It's
epics and
it's rare to epic.
legendaries have a specific perk attached to them that's outside of the perks that you would get on a standard epic.
Well, I wasn't really specifying which ones, but yes, legendaries and epics both have two. But if you have an epic and a rare, the rare is only going to have one slot for a perk, compared to if you have a
Yeah, but no one's going to care about that once they reach toward the end game,
yeah.
though, dude.
But I'm
Like,
saying at the beginning of the game,
anyone that's running, and plus, you can just upgrade the rarity and you can have two slots.
it's true.
So
It's true.
you're not stuck with what you're given.
if you have the elements and the stuff you need for it, yes, you can.
Which is not hard to get if you're that type of person who doesn't fucking clinge onto every single armor piece. Like if you're not that type of person who's just going to be like hoarding every armor piece, if you dismantle them, you get all the you get all of the pieces that you need in order to do upgrades.
And there is a warning: your inventory slots and your storage slots are very limited. So if you want to store stuff in your storage locker, just limited space there.
I don't know why they weren't thinking like Destiny does, dude. I really don't know why.
I agree with
Like,
that. They really should have thought about.
I think Destiny's like 700 now or
500.
something like that. 700,
Yeah, yeah.
750, something like that. They have like a really good size inventory
I think it's
slot.
900 actually. Something like that.
I think it's 750, dude. I think 750 is the max.
Something like that.
So that's beside the point. Like, why only give 100 slots for your inventory stash? Like, I think even, dude, I think even Divisions 2, like I think it's like 500 slots or 700 slots for people who like to like hold like a specific legendary. Maybe later down the road they'll upgrade it to current weapon levels that they have eventually tiered up to. So like for instance, if you're already like level 50 with your weapon levels, they could have tiered it up to level 50 so that way it could be ready to go to use. Like if they found like a god roll of an armor piece or a weapon piece, they didn't like, it doesn't feel like that was very thought through. Maybe they were just thinking, oh, maybe for like the like people who are not hoarder types but they like want to hold like a specific piece, they have storage for it. Why only just 100 slots?
Yeah, I do really didn't think it through. Maybe in future updates they'll increase storage size, which I could see them doing because it's been.
And like, and it's funny too because like loot drops all the freaking time.
Oh yeah.
And like some people want to hold on to different like for instance they get like 5 of the same gun. Some people want to hold up to like 5 or 6 different versions of that gun and see which one has the better roll, and then they're going to proceed with that roll and dismantle the rest. Some people don't want to just sit there and go, oh, this roll's better than this roll, dismantle. This roll's better than this roll, dismantle. They don't want to do that. They some people want to like hold them all together, look at all the rolls, side by side and see which one actually has the better roll. Because who knows, the roll that they thought was better than this roll is actually not as good as the roll that they dismantled for already. I just don't think that it was very thought through with when it comes to um, the people that are playing this game. Like they didn't think like, okay, there might be people who are actually invested into this game that are going to hold more than 100 items, and they're going to look at each of their roles and determine which one is the better role, and then they'll dismantle.
Yeah, you
Like
really, yeah, that's
like in Destiny,
just
sometimes I hold up to like 12 different versions of the same gun, and then I'll determine from looking at them eventually. Like sometimes usually like mid season or the next season, I'll go, or like the next year of Destiny when we crack into the next year. I'll go back and I'll look at all these weapons, or just before the next year of Destiny starts, I'll go back and look at all these weapons, and I'll go, okay, this role is the best role. Dismantle. Like it, and if there is, in which no one knows if there's going to be any form of continuation of this game, like added DLC, and like there's no like roadmap for this game, because I think Square Enix, after the bomb of a game called Avengers that shouldn't have bombed, after they saw that, I think they kind of just looked over at Outriders and they were like, well, if this game doesn't succeed, then we don't need to continue off of it, and this game has succeeded. How long do you think people are going to be continually playing mission after mission after mission? And once they've already worked up to like 500 damage or more on their characters, they're just going to be like, okay, on to Destiny, or on to this game, and they're just going to be like done with it. Like you're going to lose your player base if you don't consider future content. And once you put in that future content, you're also going to have new weapons and you're going to have new gear. You limited your storage to 100 slots. Yeah, this could be upgradable when you put out all this stuff, but you should have thought of future with that and said, well, we'll give you all this new stuff, and you'll already have the storage to place in all these items. Yeah, I think Destiny was the same problem. I think it was like 100 slots when Destiny 2 first dropped. It was like 100 slots, 150 slots, and you filled it super quickly.
yeah, he really did. I think it was 200 slots. I remember right, and it got filled up really fast.
And it was like gone. Like you had no slots for nothing. You couldn't even put a blue in there if you were trying to hold it for your other character.
And the issue was as well with that was they had everything combined at the same time, so you had like armor and weapons all in one thing.
Yeah, you were able to put your armor, your guns, your ships, your sparrows, like, and then your shaders and all this stuff into the storage, and then before you knew it, 200 slots. Oh, that's nothing. Bye bye to everything.
Okay. So we'll say this about Outriders. Um, it has potential to be a great game. Uh, yes, they had a bit of a hiccup at the beginning of their start of this game. They've really progressed past that. Seeing what they do forward for this game, DLCs if they're gonna come out with them, or or is it gonna be a Outriders 2 instead, and then moving forward, who at the moment we don't know. There's not much information about it. There's still plenty of stuff to do in this game. A lot of missions still to do. So, in a lot of if you haven't really done much, if you only worked on one character, you can still have three other characters you can work on. Um,
There is a lot of stuff to do. There, by no means is any of the bad stuff in this game override the actual opinion of how fun this game is. It definitely is one of those games like you could just sit back, chill, like hang out with your friends and shoot some enemies. Especially if you're that type of person who doesn't care for PvP type of games, this is a fun game to play with your friends. You're able to at least sit back and enjoy, like just killing some ads together and like in looting and getting your character strong. You don't have to worry about the nonsense that of PvP players being sweaty. This is the game, that kind of game for people, like people who want to just play a chill, relaxed moment type of game where they don't have to worry about like it being too difficult. That's the nice part about this game is you can just change your difficulty if it's too tough. definitely a game meant for casual players too.
And difficulty is actually worlds. So like there's
Full
15,
tiers.
yeah, world tiers. So there's 15. So if like you get to like 9 and it's really hard for you, you could actually go back into 7 or 6 or 5 and stay
Or
there.
just scale down one.
Or
Like if
yeah,
you thought that, let's just say you're 8 and you thought it was too tough, or 9, you could scale, and you thought 8 and 7 were just right, you could scale back to 8 or 7 till you're ready to go up again.
or if you
And
want to just
that's
work, if you want to
awesome.
just work it all the way to 15, you can do that too, and just try and see if you can get yourself to world tier 15. See, and
By no means is this game like forcing you to do anything. This game is scaled for the player and how they want to play it and how they want to enjoy it, which is incredible that they thought of that.
yeah, it's I have to agree with that. It's incredible that they thought about how the player wants to play this game. If you want to actually have it really challenging, you could make it challenging. If you just want to have a chill back, fun experience, you could just pull back the difficulty and enjoy the game. Um, this game definitely does have a good future. It just all depends on how uh, developers and companies want to move forward with this game. Um,
If they keep it as it is, I don't see this game lasting more than a year, dude. I hope they consider adding to the game and making the game more expanded on what it is. Like,
mm,
even if they don't do story, I'm fine with if they add in like end game content. Let's just say like a raid. Like,
mm.
you do this raid, there's special gear.
Yeah, we definitely don't
Like,
want. We were hoping this doesn't turn out to be like an anthem.
I don't think you can get any worse than Anthem, dude.
You really
I
can't.
don't think. Oh, actually, you can Avengers, but that's another story for another time.
Avengers is getting there. I don't know if they're right at anthem level yet, but yeah, it's another story for a different day. But this game definitely is a game to.
It's a worthy pickup for a casual gamer.
Oh yes,
Personally, I think this is a worthy pickup for a casual gamer. I think casual gamers will find this very like just something that they can just chill with. They can vibe. They can hang out with their friends. It's a good experience for someone who's a casual gamer.
uh,
Definitely casual gamer. Competitive gamers too, though.
oh
Competitive
yeah,
gamers can have with this too. They should buy it and enjoy it because if they wanted to scale up the difficulty to max, they can.
yeah, definitely can. Um, I've seen people say they've spent $80 on this game. There's only one type of game you can buy with this, which is I think it's only like 60
Well,
bucks.
the people that are saying $80, dude, are people who are from other countries. Like, for
Oh,
instance, Canada is $80 because it's $10 more because of their currency.
yeah,
So do take that into consideration. In the country that you're playing in, it prices obviously vary. It's $60 in the U.S. It'll obviously vary amongst the country that you live in. It'll be the comparable or whatever it will be in the country that you live in. That's beside the point.
this game definitely is a game to really go try out though. We do suggest you give this game a go. Um, Xbox or PlayStation.
I think that pretty much sums up our thoughts, though. What do you think?
Yes, that it definitely does. We'll get down into our two-man crew appraisal.
All right, the two-man crew appraisal for this game is
7, man. We give this a 7.
all right. Please stay tuned for more content. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Thank you guys for watching.